Hey everybody, Stippling Vaughn here, and of course I'm working away and still recovering. I ain't really work on much anything after I got done with the video. In fact, um, I want to say within like half hour, 45 minutes after finishing the video, I headed home. I'm just ugh. So, but I'm here again today, and even if I leave right after doing this video, I want to get this done for you guys. Um, this is actually last week's videos or last week's signed comics on X. It's week 17, which means we're doing day 110 through 116. And we finished off last or 2 weeks ago. We finished off with the Incredible Hulk annual number 18, signed by Kevin Maguire. So now we go into the issues of Incredible Hulk that I have signed. And the first one is issue 316, signed by Keith Williams. And it was funny because I saw him up at Lehigh and I had him sign one of the issues before, I think it was the issue before this, I had him sign. And when I had him sign it, he was talking about how he had done a podcast and uh, how uh, they were talking about this run of issues that he did for the Incredible Hulk, and even though it was a really short run, uh, it was great because it was like Bruce Banner was separated from the Incredible Hulk, and this issue was the Incredible Hulk's on the rampage. He has like no moral compass, but he hasn't killed anybody yet, and of course, uh, they so. The Avengers are sent in, and so it's like the heavy guns from both the Avengers and the West Coast Avengers attack the Hulk to try to succumb to basically defeat him. And just the image alone, where the Hulk's in the middle, and it shows like all of the Avengers and West Coast Avengers diving in to from the foreground, diving in, and the Hulk's kind of like the mid ground. Very impactful, and this was a great issue. This was just a slugfest issue, which was so much fun. Uh, it's like most like the Avengers are like kind of like you got to cut loose. You got to cut loose, and you got to take them out. And the Hulk will have no moral compass. He doesn't hold anything back. Now there's no like dismembering of people, but he just beats the hell out of the guys. But it was a really entertaining issue. And so when I was going through the Incredible Hulk issues to have signed, this one, of course, is the one I want to share with you guys. And then I followed that up with uh, issue 77 of the Incredible Hulk. You know how like they kept a relaunch in the book? Well, this is during one of the relaunches, and this is the Incredible Hulk artwork by Lee Weeks, and this one is just really cool. I mean, it starts with the Incredible Hulk like walking along the seafloor, and he's just like these like uh, dangerous aquatic creatures are attacking him, and he's just ripping them limb from limb, and he's just like there's just like death behind him as he lumbers along the ocean floor, and then he arrives at an island. It turns out it's Monster Island. So it was just a very the images that Lee Weeks uh, provided in this issue were just astounding, and so of course it was just like gotta get. This is one of those again where it's like when you look at the run he did when he did this run of the Incredible Hulk, it's like, well, what do you pick to have him sign? I'm like, this was the one I had to have him sign. So, but no, over time I have him like some sign others, but this was the one that, and this was I think this was the first issue of the run. It was just so impactful and so flipping cool. And Lee Weeks is one of those where it's like his style just keeps getting better and better the older he gets. So, and then part of that I would say definitely is because you can tell he spends a lot of time on the layouts, and he's talked about that how he does, but he puts a significant amount of time into the layouts before he starts work, and that's the reason why his storytelling and his use of space is so good. So even Marcus, he commented on when I posted this on X. Even he commented about how great Lee Weeks was on this run. So of course I just, that's the reason why I had him pick it, sign it. So and then from there, day 112, we have the Infinity Gauntlet. Now this issue, even though it's signed by George Perez, um, this was one of the very few issues of. Let me zoom in here so you can see this. This is one of the very, very few issues where I had the issue, but I bought it because of George's signature. And where it says up in the upper corner where it says $15, yeah, that's what I paid to get this issue. And in the back, there's a printout, a sheet of like copy paper they photocopied with stickers on it, indicating that this was an actual signed issue, an authorized issue, signed by George Perez. So, but then like years later, when I started going to cons myself, this was one of the first issues I had Jim Starlin then sign, so to add his signature to it. And I might later on add Joe Rubinstein's signature to it. I don't know. I might not. It's this if you're gonna pick to pay for a signature, you gotta be. It's like and this would be one of those where it's like you know what, it's worth the money to spend it to get Joe Rubinstein's signature on this book. So might not. Who knows? So something to look forward to down the road. So and then after that we have Iron Man number uh, 33. This was when they did Heroes Reborn. Sean Chen was doing the pencils for Iron Man, and he signed issue 33. And actually, you know what? I stand corrected. This is not from Heroes Reborn. This was when they did uh, the invasion, secret invasion, where the Skrulls were taken over, and this was a story about Rodney taking. He basically had to fly up into space and hook his War Machine armor to a satellite to become basically like huge, uh, almost like a Gundam, huge Gundam battle armor. So I had him sign this one. So now I have a hardbound copy of the Iron Man when he did it for Heroes Reborn. Uh, my local store was selling it on a sale, so I actually have that also. But there's I for books to show you guys, I wanted to go with floppies and not with uh, the actual like books that I might have signed. So maybe later on I'll share those. But this is I just want to do floppies. So and then after that we've got day 114. We're back. We're now starting the J's. And you know what that means. A lot of Justice League. But before we do Justice League, I wanted to share a J with you that was by DC that wasn't Justice League. And so I went with Jonah Hex, signed by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Um, Jose did a lot of Westerns. But remember, um, how we view Westerns and our history of Westerns is completely different from how the rest of the world views Westerns. The rest of the world views Westerns much more in the cinematic sense than the way we do. And so, Jose, being from Argentina, it made him the perfect artist uh, to do this issue or do Jonah Hex for a while like he did. And he gave it such a nice feel to it. He didn't have to really work, and even though uh, he was doing a western, if you look at the body language, it's still the same as when he was doing like when he do his cover for like Superman or Batman or whatnot. So very, very good. So I was like, I gotta get, and so Jose is one of those where whenever I have the opportunity to have him sign an issue, I always take advantage of that. And so I went with Jonah Hex, this one issue that I had, which cover of course done by Joe Kubert. So, but and then after that we start after Jonah Hex. We are now entering the 2 to 3 weeks of Justice League. And we started off with issue 144, signed by Steve Englehart. And here's the thing: I have John Workman who signed it, but John Workman didn't do the lettering inside the issue. He did. If you look at this issue, okay, John Workman did all of the the cover dressings. So, and all the lettering done on the cover was done by John Workman. And when I showed it to him, I explained the situation. That just to verify with him, and he's looking. And he goes, "Yeah," and yeah, that's my lettering on it. And he goes, "Oh my god!" And he goes, "I've never signed one of these. And here I had to do. I did my homework, double check, and then before I had him sign, I asked him and just double checking. He's like, "Yeah." And what was really entertaining about this was, like I said, he's looking at it. And goes, "Yeah, I can see. Yeah, that's my lettering right there, and that's my." He could tell that it was his lettering in the book. So, that made it very entertaining to see how he was able to identify his lettering. So, whenever you are see him at a show, always, always, always go up and say hi to him. And he is so insightful with his stories and his knowledge of the industry. And what's really cool is um, when he was working, okay, and he was just trying to crank out all the jobs. Here, he a lot of times would he'd get it done with a script or whatnot, and he would just like kind of toss it off to the side. Well, instead of throwing it out, his wife would collect them all and put them in storage, and he sells them at shows. And same thing goes with she'll, like I said, a lot of the stuff that he has like scripts and whatnot. Uh, that's because of his wife. His wife kept a hold of it all, and either that or they'd go to like friends' houses and she'd ask for stuff that they're going to throw away. She'd be like, "I'll take it." So that's where it shows where it's like so if it's because of his wife that they have all the stuff they has available for sale. So that's again where it's like you guys probably want to check him out and say hi to him at a show. You'll be really surprised at all the stuff that he has, and not just that, but all the insight he provides. So, and he does a lot of the big shit. Like I know he does the Heroes Con. I know he goes to Baltimore. So when you have the opportunity, check him out. So, yeah, I know I'm not really spending too much time. I'm just not really completely into it yet. I'm just still in this got this hazy funk in my head. But so, and then of course we go into the final day of week 17, and we have, let's see here, we have Justice League of America number 200. Uh, I had this signed by George Perez. It was actually one of the very first. When I had him sign issue 200 of the Avengers, I also had him sign at the exact same time issue 200 of Justice League of America. And the reason why I picked those two is at the time I really didn't know if I was. It was just one of those where it's like I didn't know if I was going to start going to cons on a regular basis. It just happened to have the ability to go see him at this one show in Pittsburgh, and just had him sign those two issues. And so then followed it up later on with, I think it was like last year, I think it was. I had Pat Broderick sign it, and then, of course, had Brett Breeding sign it. I think it was like 2, 3 years ago I had him sign it. So, having all three of those signatures on this book, especially specifically because Justice League is one of my favorite books. In fact, when we do next week's videos, the first three of Justice League that I'll be talking about, they have great significance to me because of the fact that those were the first superhero books that I ever bought. Prior to that, I was just only buying uh, Star Wars and GI Joe. The issues I'm gonna be showing you that are signed. It's one of those like, why are you presenting this one? It's because these are if I hadn't gotten these books, I may never have gotten into comic books as big as I have. So, but okay, that's about it for now. So I'll talk to you guys next week, and we'll get back into our usual groove of Saturday being the week in review of the signed books, and then Sunday I'll touch on whatever topic I want to address, and we'll discuss it. So make sure you guys hit that like button on your way out, and leave me a comment what you think, and of course share it. So you guys all have a great day. I'm having a great day, but of course, as always, when life is stressful, take it all one dot at a time.